So hello and welcome yoga people. I did promise a short video over Christmas to help you practice, and here we are. So this practice is for you however this Christmas holiday break finds you. And although there can be lots of joys around Christmas and it can be lovely to take a winter break from work, sometimes this time of year can also feel a bit overwhelming and we can feel a bit tired and sluggish, and perhaps like we've overindulged a little bit and we might be feeling a bit lethargic. So we're going to start very close to the ground and just gradually build up to a couple of standing poses and then come back to the ground for some restorative practices and a short relaxation. So this class should be accessible for all levels and it's not too challenging, just 10-15 minutes or so. So just start by arriving in your yoga space and arriving on your mat or whatever it is that you're practicing on today. Just close your eyes for a moment and just go inside and notice how you're feeling. And meeting whatever you find with kindness and self-compassion. We don't need to judge ourselves or set ourselves really high expectations, just finding whatever we find, being curious as to what's going on internally for you at the moment. And that might be sensations in the physical body, or it might be emotional feelings or busy mind thinking, whatever it is, just noticing. And we're just going to start with a few deep breaths. So inhaling, sweeping up the arms. And then exhaling, floating the arms back down again. Inhaling, filling the body with breath and energy. And exhaling, releasing tension. Inhaling, filling the body with prana, life force and energy. And exhaling, just floating the arms back down again, letting go of tension from the body. We're going to start our practice today just lying on our backs. So come to lie on your back however feels comfortable for you. So it might be best to bend the knees, or you might prefer to keep the legs straight, just to see what works for you today. And again, just notice how it feels to just let the ground support you. And you might want to just close your eyes and notice how the breath moves through the body from this new position. And feeling really supported by the ground. And then we're going to hug the right knee into the body. So just giving your right leg a little squeeze into the body. And as we inhale, belly expands, the knee lifts up slightly. And as we exhale, we create a little bit of space and we can squeeze the knee. So it's a really small movement. If you want a slightly stronger stretch, you can straighten out your left leg. Or if you want to keep a bit of support for the low back, just bend the left leg and keep the left foot flat on the floor. So just working with a really small movement in the knee. And this is nice for just releasing a bit of tension in the low back as well. And for getting the digestive system moving. So if everything's feeling a little bit sluggish, this is a good stretch. It's called wind release. Let's just change legs, so hugging the left knee into the body and either keeping the right leg bent or stretching out the right leg if you want that slightly stronger stretch. And then hugging both knees into the body. Again, just that little bit of movement. So the breath is leading the way. Inhaling, belly expands, knees lift up slightly. Exhaling, belly draws back towards the floor, the low back rounds slightly, and the knees draw in. And then circling the knees in opposite directions. Just working with the breath. So I like to inhale as my knees come away from the body, drawing the knees together, exhaling as I squeeze the knees in, letting the knees come apart, and just changing the direction of the circles. And then dropping both feet to the floor, and we're just going to cross the right ankle over the left thigh. And make sure to keep the feet really flexed. So when the feet are flexed, the ankles feel quite rigid and the knees don't twist. So we take all of the stretch into the hips, which is where we want to feel this So taking your right hand, you can just gently push your right thigh away, and that might be a good place to stay. Or if you want to come further, you can lift your left knee towards your left armpit. You can either use your tummy muscles to just hold this position. If you've got quite short arms, you might want to take a belt around your right thigh, or if you've got longer arms, you might be able to use your hands and just take one hand each side of your left thigh and draw the unit of both legs towards your body. Remembering to keep the breath nice and steady. So as we inhale, we can feel the belly expanding. As we exhale, we can feel the belly drawing back towards the spine. And releasing that stretch, we're just going to switch sides. So this time we're crossing the left ankle over the right thigh. And again, you could stay here and just use your left hand to press the left thigh away. Or you could use your tummy muscles to lift the unit of both legs towards the body. You could use a belt around your right thigh, or you could take your hands one either side of your right thigh and draw the unit of both legs towards the body again. Make sure that your feet stay really flexed, so your ankles should feel really active and rigid, and the knees should feel comfortable, they're not twisting, and the stretch is really felt here in the outside of the hip. And then exhaling and releasing. And taking your feet quite wide apart, we're going to bring the arms up to shoulder height, so you're making sort of cross shape with your arms and your body. We're going to exhale, dropping the knees over to the right hand side. And then inhale, pressing down into your elbows a little bit if you need, pulling in your tummy muscles and lifting the knees. Exhaling, dropping the knees over to the left side. And again, if you need a bit of extra support, press into the elbows to help you. Just working with your breath, so your breath might be a bit slower or a bit faster than mine. Your knees might or might not touch the floor, it doesn't really matter. But what we want to be feeling is a nice stretch in the low back, the hips, and the upper part of the legs. So we're always looking in yoga to feel stretching, so it's like a kind of a sort of widely distributed sensation, maybe a bit of an aching sensation. But we don't want to feel sharp pain in the joints, so we definitely don't want to feel sharp pain in the knees, the low back, or the hips. And then next time your knees come over to the right, we'll just leave them there for 3 or 4 breaths. And you could maybe turn your head to the left. Inhaling, lifting up. This time we'll let the knees drop over to the left, and maybe your head turns to the right, if that feels comfortable. Again, we don't want to feel any sharp pain in the neck, so if it's more comfortable to keep your head in neutral, that's fine, you do that. And then inhaling, lifting back up again. And just hugging the knees into the body. And sometimes it feels nice to just rock a little bit from side to side and massage out the back. And then from here we can, if we want to, rock and roll along the spine. If that doesn't feel good for you, then by all means just roll over to one side and find your way up to sitting in a different way. And so from here we're going to just come into an all fours position. We're just stretching out the spine, so we're going to inhale, arching the back, and then exhaling, rounding the spine. Inhaling, arching, and exhaling, rounding. Then coming back to a neutral position. From here we're going to bring the right foot to the outside of your hands. So we're coming into a kind of wide-legged crescent moon. I'll just turn around a little bit, you might see better from this direction. And we're just going to circle the hips, so drawing circles with your hips. Again, I like to coordinate this with the breath. And you can circle back in the other direction. And you could just carry on with this. This might feel like a really nice place to work, especially if your hips are a bit tight. Or if all is feeling good, you can turn your foot out to the side, and that's another option. So we could just stay here, maybe coming up onto the fingertips, lifting the chest a little bit, or maybe coming down onto the forearms. That's also an option. Or you might like to reach around. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see me. You might like to reach around and take hold of this back foot and maybe lift up and find a balance. So that's another option. So these are all different options. So you choose whatever feels best for you. And then exhaling, releasing. Let's come back into our tabletop position. Let's take a few more of those cat-cow stretches. So inhaling, arching the spine. Exhaling, rounding. And then this time we're going to bring the left foot forwards. So finding that kind of wide-legged position. I'm just going to circle the hips. And again, this might feel like a really good place to stay. You might want to just stay and work with this movement. Find different stretches from this position. You could even stretch back. It might feel good. So this could be a good place to stay. Or we could lift up and just find a stretch from here and maybe reach around, take hold of the back foot. And again, this could be a good place to stay. If your knee feels a little bit sensitive, the knee that's on the floor, you could fold up your mat or take a blanket and just place it underneath that knee. And then exhaling and just releasing back to the floor. So whichever position you took, just coming back to your tabletop position. You can have a little wiggle of the hips if that feels good. And from here, we're just going to find our way up to standing. So coming up to standing in whatever way works best for you today. So just taking a few deep breaths from this position. Just feeling your feet into the floor, maybe lifting up the toes. And then pressing all the toes down into the floor, really grounding your feet down into the ground. Lifting up into the crown of the head, relaxing the shoulders. Just noticing how your body feels now that you're standing. Noticing any areas of tightness. I'm going to start with a small breathing practice. So just taking your hands to your belly. And our belly is often a kind of seat of lots of emotional stuff. So we can feel anxious, we might feel butterflies in the tummy. We can sometimes feel sluggish, and again we might feel that into the sort of heaviness in the belly. So imagine as you breathe in, you're lifting up anything that you don't really want anymore from the belly, lifting it up, up, up on the inhale, and then exhale, letting it go. So inhaling through the nostrils, lifting up anything that you don't really want, any kind of sluggishness or heaviness, anxiety, and then exhaling through the mouth, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. And just doing that a couple more times. And taking the feet wide apart. So as wide as feels comfortable for you. So if you've got quite flexible hips, then you might have your feet as wide apart as your wrists when you stretch out your hands. If that feels a bit pinchy and a bit too much in the hips, by all means just keep the feet a bit closer together. I'm going to turn out the right foot to start. I'll mirror you. So turning out the right foot, just bending the right knee a few times, and have a look at where your right knee is heading. So you want it to track over the middle two toes. So that means the hips need to be quite open. If your knee is coming inside your big toe, just turn the foot in slightly so that your knee does head over the middle toes. We don't want to be twisting the knee. So the knee should feel really comfortable. Once you're happy with that leg position, just bring the hands to the hips. Make sure the shoulders are over the hips, and then we're going to add some arms, so spreading the arms wide. If it's comfortable for your neck, turning to look over your right fingertips. And then maybe you want to take your feet wider apart and go deeper. Wherever you are, finding a nice deep, steady breath. And then releasing the arms. Stretching up the legs, and let's pivot the feet in the opposite direction. So this time returning left foot to the left, and then pushing the ball of the right foot away. So if you look down at your toes, they would look about like 10 o'clock kind of position. Just bend and straighten the knee a few times. And when you feel happy with the leg position, your knees and your hips feel comfortable, just going to add some arms. heel toe the feet in. Bring the feet close together again. So this time I'll turn sideways, we're just going to bend the knees. I'll come forwards a little bit, bend the knees so you find a kind of zigzag position for yourself. And we can just come into it a few times, warming up the knees, warming up the ankles, and when you feel comfortable, we'll just stay for a few breaths. So bring the hands to the heart, and you could certainly keep your hands here, particularly if you've got shoulder problems at the moment. Absolutely fine to keep them here. You could bring your arms out in front, or if you want a stronger stretch, you could bring the arms alongside the ears. Remember to breathe deeply here. It's quite a challenging pose for the legs. It's easy to let the breath become a bit shallow. Can you just really breathe into all the sensations that you're feeling? I'm just going to do this for a few more breaths. And then inhaling, releasing the arms. And just circling out the shoulders a few times. And then from here, we're just going to come back to the floor. So we're not going to do anything too strenuous. It is, after all, just the day after Christmas. And we don't want to do anything too energetic. So we're going to do a forward fold. Now, I've got a yoga bolster here, but you might have something like a sofa cushion that you can use at home. So if you've got something like this, you can take your forward fold, maybe just rest your forehead on the sofa cushion. That's quite a nice way to practice. You could also rest forwards onto a sofa cushion. You might need quite a lot of cushions. If you haven't got anything like that, you can just fold forward like so. You could, if you've got a belt, like a dressing gown cord, you could take a dressing gown cord around your feet and be sitting up a little bit taller. If you're quite flexible, you could bring the head forward and just rest the head into the hands. So there are lots and lots of different ways to practice a forward fold. What we're going for today is not to go for the most extreme forward fold, but just to find something that feels quite sustainable, so you could stay here for a couple of minutes. So that might be staying up a little bit higher than you normally come. Might also, you want to sit on a flat block. So if you find that your back is rounding a lot like this, then having a flat block to sit on, or a book, just something to elevate your hips a little bit, can be quite helpful. So however this finds you, whatever the best position for you is, whether it's like this or like this, and maybe with a, like I say, a cushion, just finding a place where you can stay. And then easing your way back up again. Put that out of the way for now. Just leaning back, lifting up the chest. And exhaling and releasing. So these forward folds can be very calming, and actually if you've got a headache or you're feeling a bit grotty, forward folds can be a really nice way to just relieve tension, particularly around the forehead. So it can be quite a nice way to practice. So we're going to finish up today with a back bend. So coming to lie on your tummy, and we've got quite a few different options here. So you may want to practice Sphinx pose, so you can just bring your elbows underneath your shoulders, the forearms flat out in front of you. And this is a really nice pose that you can practice for a few minutes at a time. It's quite a gentle back bend, but if it does feel too much, you can take the elbows wider and be closer to the floor. You could have the elbows here, or if that feels really easy and you don't feel like there's very much sensation to be felt, just bring the hands underneath the shoulders and you can start to lift up into a stronger cobra pose. So wherever you are, think about drawing the shoulders away from the ears, so creating a bit of space between the shoulders and the ears. And then also trying to create space in the low back, so perhaps squeezing the hands towards the hips, creating a little bit of space in the low back so the tummy is stretching. your feet can be either together or apart, whichever feels most comfortable. And imagine your feet stretching away like a snake's tail. So this is cobra pose. And so you want to feel like your legs are kind of long and powerful, like a cobra's big fat tail. And let's exhale, just releasing the body all the way to the floor, making a pillow for your head with your hands, and then just turning the head to one side. And then from here, we're just going to turn over onto our side, coming to lie on one side. Bring your legs up level with your hips, and the arms out to one side. And if you need to, you can support your head on something. We're just going to start by just running the top hand away from you as you exhale. And as you inhale, just drawing the fingers in towards you. So I'm just taking this microphone off. And then this time, as you start to make the stretch a bit bigger, bringing your fingers towards your armpits, so your top shoulders drifting back towards the floor. Just making this movement bigger and bigger. And then eventually, if it feels good for you, you can open all the way up, and so the back hand finds its way all the way to the floor behind you, and you've opened up into a twist. And let's come out, just bringing your hands back along the same journey, across the collarbones, all the way down the arm, all the way down to the palm of the hand. And let's just change around. So we're going to do the other side. You can just roll over. So starting with the arms out in front of you. And just start with a really small movement. So exhaling, just running the fingers away from you, and just starting to find a bit of movement in the shoulders, stretching out the shoulders gently. As you inhale, bringing the fingers back towards your elbow. Exhaling, running the top fingers across the bottom hands, stretching away from you. Inhaling, just bringing the fingers all the way up to the armpit, letting the top shoulders start to lift. As you exhale, this time letting the fingers run all the way along the arm, all the way across the collarbone, really opening up into a twist. So you start to look behind you, both arms come towards the floor. And exhaling, just running your fingers back across the collarbones, just returning along the same journey that you found at the beginning. And from here, we're just going to find our way up to sitting. We're going to finish with a short breathing practice. So sitting in any way that feels comfortable for you. You can sit on the chair if you want to. And just noticing how your breath feels now. Maybe your breath has slowed a little bit. I'm just going to start to lengthen the exhalations. So we're going to count 4 for the inhalation and 8 for the exhalation. So inhaling 2, 3, 4, and exhaling 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhaling 2, 3, 4, exhaling 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhaling 2, 3, 4, exhaling 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So just continuing with your own counts. So you can count a bit slower or a bit faster than me. Just try to keep the count really regular. And next time you exhale, just letting go of the counting. Just finding your way to lying down, getting ready for some relaxation. So just a short relaxation today, and you can keep the legs bent. Sometimes it's nice to have the knees together and the feet apart, and that can feel really kind to the low back. The low back's a bit sensitive. Or you can stretch your feet away from you and just let the legs roll out to the side. We're just going to tense and release each part of the body. So squeezing the legs, squeezing all the muscles of the legs till they shake, and then relaxing the legs. And squeezing the bottom and the hips together, and then relaxing the hips, pulling in the tummy, and then relaxing the tummy. Making fists with the hands and squeezing all the muscles of the arms, and then letting the arms be really relaxed. Squeezing the shoulders to the ears, and then relaxing the shoulders. Scrunching up the face, pressing your lips together, wrinkling your nose, wrinkling your forehead, and then relaxing the face. Let's let the whole body relax into the ground. Just feel how the ground supports you. This is your moment to just rest and relax. We can let the breath become a bit quieter. Maybe the breath becomes a bit more shallow. There might be longer pauses between the inhalation and the exhalation. Or we can just rest in the quiet and the stillness between the breaths. There's nothing more to do now. This is your moment to just rest and relax. So may you be filled with loving kindness, and may you be happy, may you be peaceful and at ease, and may you be well. Starting to move the body again, bringing a bit of movement back to the fingers and the toes. It might feel nice to stretch out, or it might feel nice to just hug the knees into the body. Just rolling over to one side. And then finding your way back up to a comfortable sitting position. So I hope this has given you just a few minutes to slide gently back into your yoga practice. And I wish you a happy new year, and hopefully we'll be catching up with you in yoga classes in 2026. So happy new year.